Yeah, we're just gonna roll in bullshit. This is great.
That sounds fun.
All right, everybody, welcome to this edition of Off the Cuff. I have a very special guest today, Mr. Barry Yiengst, a very well-known escape artist, and he used to collect handcuffs too. Not as crazy as some of us are, but I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
Okay, we met for the first time quite a while ago.
It is.
The story is Bob Little, who's a magician who has these annual conventions in Philly.
Right.
And I'd never been to one. I was a freshman in college, I think. Okay? And a buddy of mine, Weatherby, one day we were still, shall we say, recuperating, maybe, because it was a Saturday. It was a super Saturday. We were still either the party was continuing or we were recuperating. He goes, "Hey man, let's go to a magic convention in Philly." I was like, "All right, I didn't have a car." So we get driving down, and I found the actual program from that Bob Little show where we first met. It was 1994.
Yeah, I think I only went to two of them.
Well, there's one of them.
Wow.
I saved it. I just went to his most recent one.
Yes,
Wild Man.
Super Sunday.
Yeah.
And you had it at a hotel?
Yeah, this was at
Hatboro.
Fiesta Motor Inn in
Willow Grove.
Willow Grove.
Yeah.
Because he was based in Hatboro.
That's right.
So
He's well known for his paper hats. So
Yeah.
he's at the right place.
So do you believe I found this yesterday? I know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
This is the exact same thing. Okay. And
My eyes water sometimes.
That's all right. I know.
I'm not crying.
I'm just tearing up because of this beautiful moment that we're sharing here. But before I met Barry, I'd read about him in the John Novak series.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just pulled out one. John Novak was a great escape artist and a writer. I love his writing because he's funny.
Yeah.
You know, and he told it like it was. And I always wanted to meet him, but I never had a chance to. But you did. Correspondence.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we used to send audio tapes back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And
tapes are things that we used to record on, kids?
Cassettes.
Yes, cassettes.
And not the mini cassettes.
Yeah.
At any rate, I had a whole box of them, and they just got pitched.
Yeah.
And which I'm surprised, because I've saved so many other things. I got some boxes that I brought over for you. But yeah, John was a neat guy.
Yeah. And in here, he talks about these Randy ankle stocks, which is useful for doing the upside-down straitjacket. It says here, thanks to the generosity of Barry Yiengst, readers in the January 1978 issue of Escape, the magazine for escape artists, were treated to a full-colored brochure of his, and it's the most professional brochure he had ever seen. Right?
I've got some of
those
here, too.
That was really cool. He wrote about you in a book, and there was no internet back then. There was no way for me to contact John. I would write to the publisher, and he was always on tour, so I never got a chance to talk to him.
And I remember he was in Bernie, Texas, and I think he did school shows.
Yeah, he did a bunch of school shows. That's what he writes about in here. And then he would write these books, which was the only... Back then, like, I couldn't just go online and order... Like, if he mentioned a book in here... Because he was talking about the Encyclopedia of Escapes. I was like, and there was only a limited number of magic shops. And it was never in a bunch, a lot of the catalogs didn't have it. So you would have to just find somebody that had these books or whatever.
And not to interrupt, did Nicky Hades do these? I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay. Nicky Hades was out of Canada.
He is Canadian, right? So, so it was even harder to find, stuff. And I read about you in this. And it was just a name, so it didn't say where you lived. I had no idea you were in the same state or anything like that. So I get to the convention, and there's Barry selling a book. And what were the odds, right? And there's Barry hanging upside down, and notice the stocks. And I'll zoom in on this stuff later because there's a story about the stocks. I got him to autograph it.
Yes.
Best wishes. That was right from the heart. And this came out in '83.
Yeah. I know it was either 100 or less that I had done. I didn't
Really?
do less than 100.
Oh wow. Yeah, because it doesn't say, of
Right.
issue.
No, it doesn't.
No. And so, I read this on the way home.
Really?
From that convention, yeah, because he was driving. I'm looking for the pictures. Yeah, and in it you listed the way, like the lock collectors and sources and stuff. This I used.
Oh, the release.
Yeah, the release. Yeah. I would use that when I was like jumping into pools and stuff.
And it was a liability release, basically, wherever you're working on.
And here's Barry jumping into
Susquehanna River in Harrisburg.
And it talks about, and in John's other books too, he shows pictures of like display boards and stuff like that. Oh, here you had it.
Yeah.
Some of the cuffs that he had.
These cuffs right here, Jack Ritter made me those.
Okay.
He's mayor of Mechanicsburg. I think he's still mayor of Mechanicsburg.
Wow.
And he owned a hardware store, and it was really good. And these are on the bottom of the Susquehanna River somewhere.
Wow.
Because when I got in those and some chains, jumped overboard from a pontoon boat, and when the water level was very low, so we were trying to find deep enough stuff. Finally, I said, look, I'm going to jump in, I'll go down on my knees. Well, what I didn't realize is I jumped into a hole that was about 6 or 7 feet deep. So I pushed off the bottom, and I hit my head on the bottom of the pontoon boat and dropped those chain link cuffs, and I never recovered them.
Yeah, there's a pair of Peerless leg irons in the bottom of Speedwell Forge too for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know in the one the bag that has the Jack made 2 of those for me. One perfectly round; those were oval.
Yeah, because you could. I looked when I first saw it. I was like, they don't look like the normal chain.
Well, the cheap.
Cuffs.
Looking ones.
And also because they're more oblong.
Yes. I did bring, they're in the red bag, but I brought, Jack made me a round set. And what I liked about them is he made them look like they were really durable.
Okay.
And not flimsy and cheap.
And I'll zoom into this later, but here's your handcuff collection. We got some Deutsche Police. There's some H&R Supers. That looks like a Blakely grip. Remember?
No, I don't. Those aren't the Hamburg Gates?
No, there's the Hamburg Gates up there.
Because I wonder.
Matatucks?
Did you say a come along?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. But that looks like a Blakely.
Okay.
Which is a rare one. It had 2 little nibs in it. I have one downstairs to show you. And look, on this board here, which I could never see, it looks like towers.
Mm-hmm.
That's your Harvard lock.
Yeah.
And
it was kind of a neat little display board that was on like a Eureka.
And what is that? Is that a key?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere I found a big key, like they have on the wall in the house, and you hang keys on.
Gotcha. And there's the Hamburg Gates.
Yeah.
Which are these?
There they are.
These aren't the exact same ones, but I asked them to look through some of the handcuff stuff. And there's the straight jacket.
And that was like a key erect. I think it was a Thayer piece.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what that was.
I think it was.
I mean, you describe it in the book, but I remember that was, for like a key
erect type effect.
Yeah. So what would you do? You would lock somebody's money in there?
I don't even remember.
Or something?
It could be anything like that.
Yeah. And there's your pillory. I like that way you did the curtain. Because it looks like it packs flat. Curtains are a pain in the ass.
They are.
I hate.
This thing just pivoted. It was like a half a curtain.
That's a good idea.
And the guy that made those, they're oak. He was a terrific.
What, the curtains?
No, the stocks themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And steel reinforced. I wish I could remember his name. He made 2 of those. He literally gave me that one.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that would have sold for at least $1,000 if he put it on the market.
Yeah, because now is that chain attached or is that a Siberian chain hanging? Do you remember? Because there's not one on the other side. So
I
it looks
think
like
I put a chain there because I think you could still do the effect.
Okay.
Because the release was on the opposite side of the chain.
All right.
Just to add a little more to it. And I cut it.
Oh, there's your key rack.
Yeah.
Full view mail bag.
Full view mail bag. I credit Norman Bigelow. Not necessarily for the exact idea, but he did things Something
Yeah.
different.
And there's that thing with